What's up guys, Joe Parfenuk here and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this week's video is going to get into how you can hire the right virtual assistant for your Amazon business. The right virtual assistant for your Amazon business can take you to the next level, but the wrong virtual assistant can actually be catastrophic for your business. So you want to make sure you are hiring and vetting them properly, and that is the purpose of this video, to show you exactly how you can do so with the little website called onlinejobs.ph and the exact process I use to hire a great virtual assistant. That being said, let's get into the tutorial to show you exactly how you can take your business to the next level with a VA. What's up guys, welcome to this tutorial on how you can find your first virtual assistant to help scale your Amazon business. Or even if you've had some not so good success with hiring virtual assistants, this video is definitely for you, because you definitely can change a whole lot just by how you hire. And I actually have some candidates that we can go through. I opened up an application a while ago and then I never actually ended up hiring one. So there's a bunch of candidates here. There's 112 candidates. You're going to see a ton when you start to use this service. So this is onlinejobs.ph. This is where I hire all my VAs. They are vetted from the Philippines, so they are actually given background checks and stuff like that. So it's, you're getting a really good service here, and you're going to make sure that the real people really doing the work and stuff like that. So yeah, so this is Online Jobs. The pricing is right here. So I pay for the Pro. That's all you need, and then you cancel it after 1 month, because as long as you're planning on only hiring one, you're not hiring them consecutive months, then you might as well just cancel it, not pay for the subscription when you're not using it. So I always just add the subscription, pay $69 every time I need to hire. It's kind of just a hiring expense. Easy write-off, definitely help you get the right VA. So yeah, that gives you access to, because with the free version, you can't communicate or hire workers. You can create job posts and all that stuff, but you can't actually talk to them. So there's really no purpose of the free version. Maybe to test it out to see how the applicants look. But yeah, you'll get all this stuff here. You can bookmark the workers. You can contact 75 workers a month. So reality, I'm only contacting like maybe 10 max, not even, probably like 5 when I'm doing it. So there's no reason for me to have the premium subscription. So yeah, let's go look at the messages. And also I do actually want to show you the job description first. So see if we go to the messages. Oh, here we go. So here's the job posts. This is the one most recently that I did. Never actually ended up hiring anyone. This was in June. I hired someone like a month before that, but I was looking for a replacement potentially. So yeah, this is how my job description looks. You create this in Online Jobs. You just post a job and you can set everything that I'm telling you here. So any type of work. Mainly looking for full-time though. I mean, you could put full-time, hours per week, 40 hours a week. I just kind of have the expectation that they're going to work full-time. Most of them are looking for full-time, so it makes sense. Salary is $20,000 to $25,000 PHP per month. So on the low end, I'll offer $20,000, which is equivalent to like $350. And then $25,000 is equivalent to around $430, I believe. Currency always changes, but that's like a relative estimate right there. And if they have a little bit more experience, like close to a year of experience, I will give them $25,000, which is $430, and then I'll give them $20,000, which is $350, if they are like 0 to 6 months of experience. The last hire I had was relatively new. She just went through one of those programs they have in the Philippines. So I'll be willing to take someone who has very little experience if I think that they are moldable and they are able to be coached, and that's like what we're really looking for. So yeah, we'll get into that when I show you this document in a second, but this is what the job description looks like. Looking for a talented VA with past experience in the US-based market. We are looking for a long-term employee that is good at problem solving. Your role will include sourcing products for online arbitrage through the storefront stalking method, manually searching websites through SellerAmp and Google Sheets to record the leads. Prefer past experience with SellerAmp, knowledge of storefront and manual stalking, keep it required. On new postings, I'm probably going to keep a product finder experience and stuff like that, because that's really a lot of what we use. So I'm looking for stuff like that. And then Amazon Seller Central, just so they know how to do some admin work for me. I usually have them source, and then I give them admin tasks as they come up. So yeah, and the knowledge of the sales rank, of course, it's really preferred for them to know that. That's very important. And of course, this is very important. They must have a good, stable internet connection. And the benefits is flexible work schedule. So I let them work 40 hours a week whenever they want. It just has to be done in that 6-7 day span. And they get paid twice a month. So the 1st and the 15th, typical of like a normal job. And flexible time off if requested. So I give them 1 paid day off a month. That's pretty typical. Give them a bonus on the 13th month, which is like a Philippine holiday tradition, to give them a month's bonus if they've been with you for the whole year. If they've only been half the year, you give them half a bonus, something like that. So that's very typical. You want to give them a bonus. They'll appreciate it. It goes a long way. And that's something that they don't really tell you, but bonuses will help you have a happy and high-performing worker. You'll be given a sample project that will take no more than 30 minutes to complete. You need to pass this. It's not really necessarily, it might take them a little bit longer. So it is a sample lead, basically, that I'm asking them to find 3 sample leads for my criteria, which I'll get in a second. If you feel you are right for the job, put this in your following response. And this is huge. So past experience I asked them about their past experience, their favorite category, and their favorite season and why. Just random questions just to make sure that they're looking at the job description. Another thing you can put in, which I probably will do on new applications, is put your favorite season in the description line, like the opening line, which I'll show you in a second. So they have makes it even weave out even more people, because some people will just not realize they forgot to do that or something like that. You want to make sure you hire people who are paying attention to detail, because this job requires that. There's so many little nuances and stuff like that. So they need to make sure that they're paying attention to detail. So that's why I put the questions in the job description. This is important because a lot of people, you'll see in a second, they just skip right over the questions and they don't even answer them. Looking forward to hearing from you and hoping to work together soon. So that's that. And then let's get into the messages. So I'll show a couple. Only really have time for a few. This is one that I pinned that looks pretty good. Didn't actually interview this person, I think, because I never went through with it. But they answered all the questions. They put a cover letter. It's a little short, honestly. I think their cover letter looked pretty good. Oh, yeah. So this was more of the job description. So they have a cover letter. Basically, this is everything I'm looking for in terms of like an answer. They're giving specifics. They know how to use Keepa. They know how to identify sales rank. Specific information that's helpful. They like beauty. That's another bonus. Specific, categories, and then the link to her CV. So it's just her resume. Basically, that's what they call it internationally. So it looks like she worked as a virtual assistant for 2 years for the same company. That is a pretty good sign. I'm not going to lie. Usually I don't prefer experience, but for her to work for the same company for 2 years is a really good sign, because they didn't let her go for 2 years. She had to be a good worker to last that long, in my opinion. I have a couple of VAs that have been working for me for over a year now, so that's a good sign. But usually I do not prefer more experience. But because if they're bouncing around company to company and have 2-3 years of experience, most likely they're not that good. So looks good here. And that's something that someone I would definitely invite for an interview. And then let's see if there's someone who's not good. So this isn't too bad. They answered the questions. They're pretty specific about everything, which is good. They might earn an interview. So you want to look at the CV. So yeah, it doesn't look too bad. It looks like they worked for a year or a little less than a year. Not too bad. Could be worthy of an interview. But the first person, she's like definitely more of like a 9 on the scale of 1 to 10, like as far as a good candidate off the jump. So trying to find one that looked pretty bad. I think I went through some of these already. So let's see. Okay, yeah. This is an example of a garbage application. They put one thing there, and that's it. I don't know if that was a mistake, but you're going to see some of these like this. Not the first time I've seen that. So they answered the question, but a relatively short response. That's okay. I want to find one that's like example of someone who just spammed the application. So yeah, they answered the question, still very short. I like to see a decent amount. It doesn't have to be like an essay, but a decent amount of information to let me know what you're about and stuff like that. 6 years regional clerk, I've been an online lead researcher for 4 years. Too long of experience, in my opinion. They didn't answer any of the questions. So this is an example of a person who just spammed the application. This is a person you want to avoid at all costs. They probably just sent you hundreds of sellers. And stuff like that is going to lead to more people's concern where like there's double dipping and stuff like that. So yeah, and I don't think they answered the questions here. Yeah, this person didn't answer the question. So here's another example of someone who I would pass on. They have worked for 3 years, a lot of experience. I like to see 6 to 12 months, sometimes less than that, but 6 to 12 months is kind of the sweet spot of what I found as far as good quality virtual assistants who can be molded as long as they have the right, intangible skills and stuff like that, like discipline, work ethic, stuff like that. So yeah, we'll get into that now. So let me get rid of that and how I vet my virtual assistant. So it's pretty simple. 4 key things. So questions in the job description, which I already went over, doesn't have to be anything specific. It could just be what's your favorite color. So make sure they're paying attention. The second thing is ask for resume. Sometimes they'll send it. Usually it's a bonus if they send it to you first, but I like to see the resume. Tells me if they've been working for someone or they've been bouncing around company to company 3 months at a time, not really finding a place that sticks. That's kind of a red flag that they're not really good workers. So that's why I asked for the resume. I want to see their specific Amazon experience and how long they've worked at a specific company. But one thing you can also do is ask in the interview, what's the reasoning is why you've been bouncing around company to company or something like that. Or like, why did the last experience end? Just try to get something out of them. Oh, maybe they're like, I didn't like the boss. I wanted to find a new job or something like that. So that's important. And then the next one is interview them. This is very important. You don't want to hire them without interviewing them. You need to know how they are as a person, and you can't tell that without hopping on a call with them. So I interview them and I ask them personality questions like, what's a big challenge you faced? How do you communicate with team members? Stuff like that, like intangible skills that you can't really teach. You can't teach a work ethic. You can't teach a communication skill. You can kind of teach communication skills, but this is not what we're here for. We're here to teach them how to source, We're here to teach them to find profitable inventory, not the basic skills that they should already know, So that's really important. And then, what's a time where you didn't know how to complete a task? How did you complete it? Make sure that they're resourceful. Stuff like that. Like those type of questions are key. And that's how you're going to find out a lot about them as a person. And you get to hear them speak also, because if their English isn't very good, it's kind of a red flag because it's hard to communicate with them. So then you get to know how good their English is, how they articulate their words and stuff like that. So it's important to interview them, ask them those type of questions. Also ask them, experience-related questions, like make sure they know what they're talking about. They're not full of it. So ask them, how do you use the Keepa Product Finder? What are specific things you use if they mention that? Something like that. And then the final thing, which is after the interview process, after I found 2 to 3 good virtual assistants, I ask for 3 sample leads. So this is just based off my criteria. So like $3 profit, $30, 30% ROI. And from there, they send the sample leads, and you get to see an idea if they know what they're doing. Are they sending leads structured? Like, are they sending the leads that have all the information that I need? One person sent me just Amazon link and then a store link, nothing else. So like that's just a red flag. She automatically did not get the job because she didn't know what she was doing. So, that is important to ask for the sample leads. You get an idea, are they good at sourcing? Also some common red flags, obviously not paying attention to detail by skipping the questions, but if they're sending you a Excel sheet of like 150 leads, we saw that when we were looking through one of my private calls. I saw someone was like, just sent me 150 leads through an Excel file on the job description, trying to bait me to think that would work. But who knows where those leads are from? And also that just seems like they're corroborating with other people, other virtual assistants, stuff like that. That's a sign that they could be, working for someone else as well. So keep those things in mind, and, just make sure you are properly vetting your virtual assistants. You're going to get some good results if you follow this to the T, and make sure you, just use your common sense. Are they good? Are they good people person? Can they get along with the team? Are they coachable? That's really key. Like that they need to be coachable because you have to teach them how to do this stuff. Also, don't think you should be hiring a virtual assistant if you don't know what you're doing yet. Make sure you have the hours put in. You know how to source things profitably so you can teach them how to source things profitably, especially if you're going with someone who's under a year of experience. They're not exactly masters at it yet. So yeah, you want to make sure that you do all these things and you will have great success. And then you're able to cut down your hours because you have a virtual assistant now to help you out with things. And, it allows you to have a little bit more balance in life. It's not all work, work, work. If you have a team member to, provide you with leads and admin work, admin stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully this video helped. And I hope you guys got a ton of value. And if you did, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching.